Today, it's really about helping you guys feel empowered to take these different tools that we've been given and use them in more of an advanced way to recruit and get appointments and to retain, and to win. So that's what we're going to share with you today. So again, I'll send this all to you afterwards, and yet that's what we're going to cover today. Couple things just to mention. Rich and I do have some additional services we've been offering for those of you that maybe aren't part of our recruiting collective. Check it out. We have a trial membership and we're having a lot of fun putting things together for you guys to be able to use out in the field to really make waves with your recruiting, branded pieces, special classes, all that kind of jazz. We do have some new pages too where we're sending things and sharing things out. And I just want to make you guys aware of maybe those different web pages and things so that you guys can follow us. Because our goal is always when we find something that's working, it's to get it into your hands so that you can also win with it. So the best way to track us down are those new sites. And then last but not least, we have a class. We decided to push it till after Mega Leadership because we were running into a lot of technical challenges with calendars and scheduling. So we are going to be hosting this class on, May 20th after Mega Leadership. And we decided to offer per class because some of you have done these classes with us before and may just need sharpening of the axe. So you can either just take $99 classes or you can join us for the whole thing. If you join us for the whole thing, you get 2 extra mastery classes with us and about 15 hours of extra work that we make ourselves available for you. So do what works for you, but we'd love to have you. And it's the season that you need to dust off the rust. So if you've been recruiting for a while, this would be a great thing for you to dive back into, especially maybe for the weeks that you maybe need to tune up a little. So whatever works best for you, we've made it really flexible so that you can be part of it. Hey, Rich, perfect timing. Now, Rich and I are going to share with you. Hey, Gabe. Rich and I are going to share with you how to use these one-pagers to really get in front of agents. These are topics that people like to talk about. They're kind of instead of using the 4 models, it's kind of more of a sexy way to get a conversation started around what someone might want to do. But before we do that, there's the concept of the 5th level team leader or the 5 levels of the team leader. And I learned this in a lot of ways from Rich as my coach. I mean, Rich coached me for many, many years as a team leader, and I didn't really get it. In fact, I didn't get it until we learned it again as coaches, to be real honest, to really look at it that way. And yet there's so much good value to talk around when you talk about the 5 levels of team leader, because depending on how you're acting and lead generating will really have an impact on how well you get referrals and how well and how easy this comes back at you. And a lot of what we're sharing today is like 3rd and 4th level stuff. So Rich, what would you, if you were to kind of share with the group what being 5th level is or what the levels are, what would you share?
Yeah, and also, I don't think they can see your PowerPoint, so we need to pull that up.
Let me bring it back up to the 5th level. Sorry.
Yeah. So really, I think the key thing is as a leader, right? Do they see you as a recruiter, as a team leader? Do they see you as a consultant? Do they see you as somebody that can help them build their business, a valuable asset? A true business consultant, that they're partnering with that can take them to the next level, or are they seeing you as a cold caller, a recruiter, somebody that's just looking at them as a number? And that's what this whole concept of the 5 levels of a team leader are. And your skill level and your approach determines how they view you when you look at this chart here. So it's really important when you understand this concept to see what your delivery is and what your approach has been when you're getting into relationship with people. So, this model is a model that you're going to see more and more in all of our, Katie Barai's pushing and sharing. You'll probably see it at Mega Leadership. So really, it's the bottom level as a recruiter is really, kind of your positional role. So it's more of like transactional. Again, do they see you that you're just trying to get them as a recruit, right? They're a number. The second level is, hey, they see you as somebody that's a nice person, that you're nice to talk to. They see you at events, you're at social functions, things like that. So they like you, but yet, that's not necessarily what's going to make them move, right?
Right.
The third level is that, they know they see you as somebody that knows things. You're teaching, you're training, there's value there when they hear you speak, and they hear you talk about their business and real estate, right? And then as you move up, right, do they view you as somebody that can truly help them in their business? Because that's where the movement happens. If they
Right.
see that you're somebody that can make a difference in their career, as a leader, as a consultant, as a true partner that's taking a stand for their greatness, you're that valuable person. Now they're going to move, especially in a market like this where they're looking for answers, right?
Right.
They need that person, and they need you to be that person that they believe can take them to the next level, right? So you can see that then again, do they view you as besides a trainer, then the next level is a coach and a leader, and then at the top level is somebody that can help them accomplish their dreams. Just to give you an example, way early on, when I was selling here in Southern California, we all were working for this independent broker. Kira, you'll know them, First Team Real Estate, and the number one office that they had was in a 1970s building in an old strip center next to a post office. I mean, you talk about like where the worst place you'd want to have an office, but nobody cared because the leader of that office, and they had like those office cubicles that didn't even have tops on them, and it was just 1970s popcorn ceilings, the whole deal. But there were $5 million producers, and this is back in the 90s, that were sharing desks because
Mhm.
everybody wanted to work for that manager. Okay. And because he was at that top level, the dream maker. And so, all the top producers that we have now in our area all came from that office. And they're with different companies now, but they were all made because of that guy. Chuck Grant was his name, that made those people into incredible producers. And so the point is that none of the other stuff matters if they view you as that dream maker and that person that contribute to their growth. All this other stuff doesn't matter. The commission split doesn't matter. Your office location doesn't matter. Whether you have a private office for them doesn't matter. So as go in your journey in leadership up that ladder of skill building, think about that. Because once you get there, nobody can take that away from you. And so who do you want to be known for in your market? And that is a great model of how you can grow, and stair step up. So I don't know if that's what you wanted me to
That's
mention.
exactly what I wanted you to share. And today, what we're going to role play is you acting at level 3 to almost level 4. So for those of you, take a peek at this and say, where am I at? If you're stuck at level 2, really the more you're sharing the high level things that we have, like our models, like these playbooks, like these one pagers, the more KW you are, right, Rich, the more coaching you are, less office manager you are, but more impactful to them with these things, the higher you go, right?
Yeah.
Really
And
that
learning
simple.
that, yeah, learning the MRA models. Let me give you another quick example. I have a new team leader in one of my offices that's a great trainer and coach. And she's attempting to break into this community that we're in. And when people meet her, she gets them because she's a great coach. But yet, you're not going to be able to get enough appointments to get there quick enough. So I said, you're a phenomenal trainer as well. That's what you did before you were in this role. You got to train so that we can get the masses of people to see you on stage. Then you can get them on one-on-one and they can really see what you can do. But until we get there, you're just number 2. You're a nice person.
Yep.
in that ladder. And so a lot of you might be in that same boat where like, hey, you know what? I don't have time to train, but you're really good at training. You know what? You're going to need to train because people have to see what you can do so that they can see you at level 3, know stuff, and then you can get into one-on-ones with them where you can help them. Does that make sense? I know we
Total
don't have
sense.
time to do it, but we got to find the time to do it because in this market, a lot of people are stuck because everybody's just being a recruiter. And the recruits or the agents out there are just saying everybody's the same. And you're not the same. You're the difference maker. You as the leader is why they're truly going to come to your office. It's not because, we have technology and that kind of stuff. Everybody has a lot of the same things, right? It's because of you. So you really need to take a look at that here in 2025. This is where you can set yourself apart if you really dig in as somebody that can contribute to their growth.
So today we're going to role play being like level 3, 4-ish with one pagers, and we're going to really quickly go through really basic scenarios or talk tracks that you guys can follow to not only recruit but to retain, and for you also to self-reflect in how you yourself could be using some of these one pagers for your own lead gen. What are you role modeling? And Rich, you just nailed it on the head. Like, if I'm really a killer at training, get on the camera, get in front of people, put that stuff out there in reels of you training, show yourself off, leading, panels of top agents. That's acting level 4, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And so you leverage that, and like you said, social media is a great way to do that, so they can see clips of you and powerful things you're saying, and the people in the audience. So that's how you can quickly make a name for yourself by leveraging social media with that.
Yeah, totally. So, recruiting with one pagers, setting the appointment. This is the basic talk track that I would share that I have several people winning with. And yet, Rich and I can play around with this with you. And yet, you need to add fluff to this conversation. So, I'm just going to set the table here. So, I'm going to say I'm going to use the fact that Rich has a really good online presence as an agent to start this conversation. So, Rich, in this role model, is an agent that is an unmet. I've never spoken to him. Okay. And yet, if I see that Rich is really doing a lot with social media, maybe I see his posts on Instagram, his reels, you can tell that he's giving effort towards it. This would be a really effective talk track to introduce Rich to some of my one pagers and to get a conversation going, to set an appointment, or to make an unmet somewhat of a met now that I will now nurture. So, however this call goes, it's okay, because by the end of it, I will have accomplished my initial goal, which is at least to get Rich to be a met, someone I've met in a nurture pond where I can then start keeping that conversation going by starting this conversation. So there's a lot of ways you can do this, but again, I'm just going to give you the basic talk track, and it would be me calling him and just being like, "Hey, Rich, it's Jessica Fox with Keller Williams Clearwater. I'm calling, reaching out because I just have been tracking what you've been doing with your video, and it's really impressive. I was really impressed with your online presence, and I'm curious, is that a focus of yours for 2025 with your business?"
Well, I appreciate that, Jessica. Yeah, I just started doing more with posting and trying to build an online presence. I'm real new to it, but thanks for the good words. I'm excited to kind of start that process.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's noticeable what you're doing, and yet seeing that you're into, the new channels and really Instagram, I saw you really were crushing. I just wanted to reach out and share with you some really cool strategies on Instagram that I've been sharing with my own agents. You're the kind of agent, frankly, I would love to have a great relationship with. And if you're open to it, I'd love to share this with you like I would my own agent. Was that something that you'd be free or open to
Well,
do?
yeah, I appreciate that. I really don't want to move. I'm happy where I'm at
Sure.
with the current broker.
Yeah, I get it. And yet, this is what I do as a team leader. A lot of people think I'm a recruiter. or they think I'm like the office manager or like the broker. And actually, I work with agents, my own and agents outside the brokerage to really help them. And this is something I think you'd be really great at. So I'd love to share it with you. Would you be open for like a quick Zoom or maybe some coffee this week?
I maybe a Zoom.
Okay. So whatever this goes, guys, just kind of break script. He's either going to give me a positive or a negative, right? If he gives me a positive in any way, I'm going to set an appointment. I'll take a Zoom. I don't necessarily need you to come in to do this, right? I'll do a coffee. I'll meet you in person, whatever it is. So I'm going to set that appointment if there's any way possible to do that. And yet, if he's like, no thanks, I'm not going to be a hard close here. I'm going to say, no worries. I'll send it to you. I love helping my agents and would love to be a resource to you. Ultimately, I'd love to be your backup brokerage. So promise me you'll check it out, and I'd love to have a conversation if you're ever open to it. Sound fair?
Sure. So you're gonna send me some information on my social media presence, how to build that.
Yep. I'm going to
Great.
give you some hacks. I'm going to share with you some of the hacks I'm sharing with my own agents, and I think you'd be really great at it. So take a look at it, and if you're open to it, let's grab a coffee in the near future.
Okay. Super.
Okay, so that's really how this call goes a lot. It doesn't maybe set you an appointment, but it gets you in a mode of being a Met in a way. They're probably going to go right to their computer and check you out and look you up. And yet, really, what's the point? They're a little impressed by you. You hit their ego on in a good way, right? Um, they start thinking like, wow, no one in my office is talking about this stuff. My broker's not sharing this information with me. And what it slowly does is it just kind of gives you the opportunity to be sure that you're their second place at a bare minimum. If not, someone they actually want to sit down and talk with. And so it's a really great talk track. I would put some fluff in there. And so when you look back at the script, and like I said, we're going to give you all this, I put dot, dot, dot. That's where I would get a little fluffy. Like, I'm going to say things specifically, maybe that I noticed, or, I'm going to add things in like, I think you'd be really good at this. Based off of what I saw, I think you'd be really good at nailing this. I might even drop in the information on what I might send. So let me just show you what we would be sending next, and then we'll slow down and we'll come back to you, Lee Ellen.
Yeah,
Next,
and ask questions, right? I mean,
yep,
you're having a conversation, right?
right.
What
You're
you
not just
accomplished from your
Mhm.
social media presence? How has it been working for you? Again, what's your biggest frustration or challenge as you're diving into this? You can ask questions, and it's going to take you wherever it's going to take you. And
Yep,
then what Jessica's showing you right here is the one pagers, the information that will wow them. So that puts you at that level of knows stuff, level 3 on that ladder we were talking about earlier. So it's like, whoa, she's coming from contribution, on a cold call. There's good information she's going to give me. She knows stuff. And, I would be open to maybe meeting with her. I'd be open to coming to one of her classes when I didn't even know her 5 minutes ago.
exactly. So just wanted to put that together, that it's a talk track that's going to go wherever, but there's no negative impact. It's a positive talk track. People are impressed with what you're giving them. You may not get an appointment, but you've now got an unmet that is now a met that you can nurture. You can continue to invite to things and keep that conversation going. But the truth is, you do get an appointment frequently from this. And so we'll get into the one pagers in a minute. I want to address, I think it was Lee Ellen had a question.
Yeah, thank you. I feel self-conscious because my own social media presence is not great. And I'm working on that. And we just joined the social media thing that Rachel Adams is doing. So we're going to
Great.
be building it. I worry, or my concern is that they're going to just look and go, why would I want to meet with you over this? Even though I'm saying, well, here's some things that are working great with other agents, or that agents who have a proven track record. How do I steer the conversation like that so they're not saying, I mean, I can't control what they think.
You don't build your business like they do necessarily. So I guess the fear of comparison, I can understand. Like, I probably would improve my look a little and tidy it up, and get a little bit more purposeful, but that doesn't mean you have to become these
Yeah.
different models. But you do want your office to follow maybe this type of a plan so that you guys are showing off what your office is like. And so keep that in mind. I guess I wouldn't be too concerned about that because, again, if we put certain things up, none of us are masters of all, right? You could even say, I myself am looking forward to implementing some of these things, you know? So just remember, no one's expecting you to be everything. You're the librarian to the library. You're the connector, not necessarily the person that had to have done it, right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because like I like the idea of micro events. I've never done one before. So if I bring the idea of micro events to you, are you going to judge me?
Right.
No, I'm just bringing you the best person in the country that's doing micro events, their plan.
Yeah.
So, but I do feel like we all could use a little digital curb appeal makeover and make sure
Yes.
we're looking pretty good. So I think yes, and don't be so hard on yourself. But
Yeah,
that's a
and,
really
and you're creating curiosity. So, hey,
yeah.
we've got a one pager, one of the top social media experts in real estate in the country, and I'd love to share that with you. I'm sharing it with my other agents. It's helping them build their presence, including myself. You know, so again, that's how you're creating curiosity with the one pagers versus, hey, look at my Facebook page, kind of a thing, right?
Right. Now, if
Thank
you do master something, share it, but don't feel like you have to master everything. So, to keep moving, because we have a lot to cover quickly, I want to share with you how do you get comfortable talking about these one pagers when you don't know Sarah Maslowski, you don't know Elio, right? So, and you didn't create their success. And so I want to share one little hack in the middle because I realize some people don't know where to connect the dots. All you have to do is go to Google and just put YouTube Sarah Maslowski, and she shares all the step-by-step strategy over and over and over with Tom Ferry, with Gary Keller, with everybody. So you can listen to her and she talks exactly through what she did. This is, you know, she's got the interview with KW even in here. So know that if you want to feel confident in actually talking over Elio's plan or Sarah's, all you have to go do is Google and listen to them. And it's real easy to understand the plan. Your job is, again, the librarian to connect them to the tool, not have to make them do it. You just have to be able to talk over it and through it, just like you would an MREA model, right? So that's how you can get your confidence in talking around someone else's model without really knowing them or having done it, kind of like what you had mentioned. You know, you don't want to feel fake or false, right? Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so in the online, it's pretty easy. We got Sarah Maslowski, we got Elio with Instagram, we got Facebook, we got TikTok, we got the social media playbook. So you also have multiple touches. So let's just say I strike up a conversation with Rich. It goes pretty well, but then he starts ghosting me. Look at all these value items again I can touch him with. Something to think about as your nurture. Same thing with event. The conversation track is the same if someone does events, and yet you have different one pagers for that. You've got the micro events done by Meg Dade. You've got the Kimber seminar plan. You've got different things for whatever they're doing. If they're doing open houses, you got the open house tour. So the concept is the same for all of them. It's creating that conversation using a tool. And when you're doing that, Rich, what level am I working on? What level am I working at as a team leader?
Yeah, well, you're at know stuff. So you're at level 3, and then you might be going into level 4, which is how that this person can help me. The other thing too is if you're not familiar with those one pagers and who these people are, look them up because testimonials and success sell, right? Hey, do you know that this Bob Smith, who's mastered the micro events, let's say, he does 300 transactions a year. So if you have some background on the one pager authors, if you will, the people that are on the panels, and you can throw that out there, it gives those one pagers credibility and makes me want that information, right? Now I
Yep.
want
And if you listen to those videos, Sarah's like, my first year I did 30 deals. My next year I did 84. The next year I'm on track for 125. So they say that all. You just have to listen to the videos once and you feel very confident in kind of pitching their strategy. And like Rich said, there's so many videos there for you. Lee Ellen, did you have another question?
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know. I sent one of these out to somebody. It was a one on leverage to an agent. And the one pager mentioned something like some kind of turtle coloring exercise or something. He writes back to me and texts me and says, what is this? I immediately go and try to find this agent on social media, direct message him. The agent responds to me who wrote this plan, and he sends me, this is what that was, because that one pager was based on a talk that he had given. So it wasn't clear. And he gave examples of what the turtle exercise was, the reason for it, and sent it all to me as PDF, and I was able to send it to the agent. So these people who do these plans are really great. They're so fabulous and responsive. At least that was my experience.
Well, and Leellen, if you're at another brokerage where no one's even helping each other, you're going to just be like blown away by the culture of sharing,
Yeah,
right? So
it's
cool.
cool.
Okay, we have a lot more to cover, so I'm going to go a little bit faster in the fact. Now let's switch gears to retaining. Quickly, how cool would it be for you to go through your top 20 roster and think of which one pagers you should put in front of them and remind them that this is something they'd be great at? That is a great energy starter, a productivity starter, a boost, pulling someone out of a rut, getting someone into action. That would make a lot of your agents feel really good and loved. So think about how you use it in that way, or asking them, what do you need to add to your efforts with lead gen in 2025? Because again, showing them you have resources and tools for them to use retains them. People don't lose a winning team. People don't lose, or people don't leave a losing team. People don't leave an office that's focusing on helping them. So retention can be benefited just as well on that, right, Rich?
Yeah, absolutely. Retention is recruiting, right? So we have to, continue to show the people where we're at in that ladder that, hey, I'm constantly pouring into you. I'm constantly bringing great strategies and tactics from other top people that have shared those, i.e. the one pagers. So that shows your value as a leader. So if they're looking at another brokerage, now they're saying, hey, is this person that I'm talking to at this other brokerage, is that somebody that can help me, or is that somebody that's just trying to recruit me?
Love it. So, and then last but not least, when your own business, your own lead gen, what one pagers should you be considering? What one pagers should people in your leadership team be implementing for you, like micro events or, some of the Instagram hacks? Because those, we do a lot of the same things, don't we?
Yep.
We sure do,
And we
right?
want to leverage them.
Well, and I can tell you, Rich and I are winning big time with video. So that's something we're implementing. What are you guys? Think about that. Last but not least, I know we're short on time and we're just at the time, but we want to remind you one last time that you have the chance to take this class either per session. So if you need to dust off the rust, get ready for a recruiting season. This is advanced training with Rich and I, or you can take the whole bundle where we get to spend 15 plus hours together. We got extra classes for you, extra time for you for office hours, and a few extras for the whole thing. So we'd love to have you either way, which works best for you. And yet it's the time that you level up your skill, isn't it, Rich?
Yep, absolutely. And this is a skill-based market, as we all know. We have challenges like everybody else, but how we're going to win is be better skilled than our competition and understand how to communicate, the needs analysis, which is a big part of that stair stepping is really to ask them questions so they see the value in you as a leader. That's how you really do that. It's one of the best ways to do that and connect with them. And we teach you how to do that. We teach you how to set appointments, how to do the needs analysis, the 10-step recruiting presentation, handling objections, closing, the agent transition. All those are critical parts to having success as an experienced agent recruiter, or your recruiting experienced agent. So we've broken those down into individual class sessions so that you can take the ones that you want, or you can take the whole program, as Jessica said. And we also have weekly office hours where we can do Q&A, workshop leads, answer your questions on a weekly basis, in addition to the training. So that's that.
So we'd love to have you participate at whatever benefits you most. And, think about how you're going to incorporate these one pagers moving forward, not only for retention. Now, the last thing I'll end with is, remember, we do everything for our agents first and then the recruits. So when you are already using one pages with your own agents in your training room, in your coaching sessions, in your consulting sessions with your agents, that's where you get comfortable, where it's conversational, like Rich and I are bantering, because those are people you know and they love you. And it's the same conversation if it's a stranger. But for some reason, our mind can kind of trick us a little in making it something so different. It's not really all that different. So the more you use this, the higher level you go, the easier all this gets. And just
Yes.
remember, these are your tools.
Yep.
Cool.
Remember, you got 10 seconds to create curiosity when you're over the phone with somebody. So what are you going to do to create that curiosity? These one-pagers are a great curiosity creator because they're from the top people in the industry, in those niche markets, and you have a one-pager that shares what they do. So how you communicate that out there will create curiosity.
So Lee Ellen, the class is a standalone class that Rich actually started that class way back when, and we've just kept updating it and fine tuning it. So that's separate to my recruiting collective, but our members get a 20% discount on all of our classes.
Yeah, why don't you just pull that up real quick as we're wrapping up? So the difference, my recruiting collective is a recruiting community that's a membership. It's where we're actually giving you what we call the gifts. We're giving you recruiting marketing pieces that we tailor and customize for you. You don't have to recreate them. We actually brand them for you that you can send out, to these recruits, to your candidates, people that you're nurturing. We also have a private Facebook group. We have the weekly office hours where for 30 minutes you get to work with us as a group and really have access to all of our stuff at a discount as well, and the monthly classes that we're doing like this.
We love it. So we'd love to have you in whatever capacity. So join us. We'd love to have you in the class. We'd love to have you in the community. We're here for you. So I hope you got some value out of this, and yet hope most of all you take some action with it. Let's level up. Let's go from 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Makes life a lot easier for all of you.
Hope to see you at Mega Leadership next month.
Yeah. See you then. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining.